How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Welcome back to another Q&A, the developers episode. And for today's episode, we had Inanitas, also known as Sirius, okay, from the DragonFable team. He also works on AQverse as well. So if you guys are AQverse players, you will probably know who Sirius actually is or have probably seen his work before. Now, let me just go through a few basic ground rules before we get into the video, okay? And if you guys have watched through the previous Q&A episodes before, you can probably skip through this part because it will be the same. Okay, so first things first, the staff are very busy people. They are taking time out of their own free time to go ahead and voluntarily do this for me. So please do not rush them into answering any of the questions or whatnot. I do not know when the next episode will come out. It will come out whenever it's ready, when the staff has finished replying me and when I have time to go ahead and edit the videos. Secondly, all of the responses that you see here are all entirely copy pasted from what the staff sent me. None of it is edited in any way, but I will be adding some of my own personal comments as I am going through the questions and the answers to make it a little bit more interactive. Next thing, as I mentioned before, the staff are busy people. You are probably wondering why this is not a voice or a video call. Instead, why is it a written Q&A? That is because they are busy, I am busy, and on top of that, we all live in different time zones. So it's probably a little bit difficult to coordinate a time for everybody to go ahead and sit down together. On top of that, I also didn't want to impose on them and bother them too much, especially since AE has a weekly release thing, you know. The staff is working very hard every single week to bring you guys the weekly releases. So I thought a written interview will be good. They can sit down, you know, whenever they have the free time to craft out the answers and the response that they want to give to me before sending it to me. And last but not least, you guys are probably wondering, is that the correct way to pronounce Inanitas? Okay, and yes, this is coming from him directly. At least that was the pronunciation he sent me. I hope I didn't butcher that up, but for a more simplified purpose of pronouncing his name, I'm just going to refer to him as Sirius inside of this interview. Oh, also one little tidbit I wanted to share with you guys before we get started is that he was the one who actually reached out to me wanting to do this interview. To be very honest, I was not entirely aware of who else was working on AE besides Dove and Valerius, because they are the two main developers, right? Okay, so I was looking through the Dragon's Grasp list, and that's how I found out that Jacelix was also one of them. His name also sometimes pop out in the design notes, so I know that he was an artist. But Sirius was the one who actually approached me. I didn't approach him, so I'm very appreciative to Sirius for, you know, taking the initiative to go ahead and approach me so that I can bring this interview to you guys. Okay, so without further ado, let us jump right into the questions. First question, can you tell us a little about yourself? Age, role in AE, how long have you been working at AE, any other interesting facts about yourself, etc. I started working with AE back in August 2014 as a bug tester for AQverse. A year later, in August, I started working with Randor the Red on writing for Hero Smash, which unfortunately didn't get past writing design notes for the website. However, it was a good stepping stone because in December 2015, I wrote my first release for AQverse, Cryostorm Assault. Now, I don't think I played through that quest before, or maybe it wasn't on this channel. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I already quit AQverse back then. I can't exactly remember. Okay, from then on, I handled a few releases for AQverse as a volunteer writer until the company had to do away with volunteer content creators. Luckily, Alina kept me on as a contract writer, but seeing as they wanted to have most of AQverse writing done by one writer, I was moved to the DF team. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. From there, I wrote the Thorns saga, several holiday releases, and I'm currently working on the Hype Behind and Fear Engine sagas. Oh, so he was the one behind those sagas. To be honest, I have no idea which team member worked on which exact saga, because most of the time it's not like super clear cut who worked on what release. So I think it's good that he actually mentioned these. Okay, I think those are pretty well written releases personally, and they did come out quite a few years back, and I see that the holiday releases are sometimes written by him as well. Nice. Then back in December 2020, Alina approached me to come back as a regular writer for AQverse, where I've been doing 1 to 2 releases a month, with my most recent being the Dage 2021 birthday release, The Beast of the Legion War. Nice. So AQverse players, you guys will have probably played through the Dage 2021 birthday release, okay? And I think birthday releases are a really big thing inside of AQverse, especially for the Dage and Nalgav birthdays, because those come with the most amount of cool looking cosmetic items, you know, and I think he probably did a really good job of writing. Let me know down in the comments below if you are an AQverse player and you have played through the release. How do you feel about that release? Next question. How do you join / first know about AE? I first heard about AE by playing the original AQ back when DF was first starting out. Wow. And you know, like I said in a previous video, this is a recurring trend. It seems that almost all, in fact, all of the developers I've interviewed actually started from AQ. Man, everything starts out from AQ. Like all of the developers, they first heard about AE through AQ. I think that's really cool because AQ was basically the lifeblood, you know, the first child of AE, and it's amazing how, you know, it has brought so many talented people together to work in AE. Okay, ever since I was drawn to all of AE's games, including the mobile ones, I was actually on the development testing team for AQ Dragons, BioBeasters, and Undead Assault. Nice. Okay, I have played through AQ Dragons and BioBeasters a little bit. Undead Assault, not so much. And I think those were pretty fun games. AQ Dragons is the cookie clicker style mobile game, and BioBeasters is the one whereby it's a very simple game. I think it's what type of genre is it? I'm not sure exactly. It's the one you have the beast in the middle and then you just click and shoot the other enemies that are approaching you, you know. But I don't really play them nowadays. Nonetheless, I think those are great games, and on top of it being a great game, I think those games have really fantastic artwork. Okay, next question. Was AE your first choice when selecting a company to join? Yes, I joined the testing team as soon as possible, always knowing I wanted to have a hand in the writing of the games. Wow, nice. So a passionate player turned into a staff member. Very, very cool. Next question. What attracted you to come work for AE? The community as well as the staff. I thought that AE was such a unique place to work where you get your own avatar with which you get to interact with the community, both IRL and in-game. Okay. Next question. What do you think you'll be doing now if you weren't working for AE? I will still be writing. I have a creative writing degree and have been working on a personal project of mine, a series of light novels independent of AE. Wow, man. The staff are really, really talented. He is a writer outside of AE as well and is probably looking to publish his own series of novels. I think that's really cool. Okay, next question. Favorite colleague? Okay, I took out the in the office part because I realized that after several interviews that most of them were actually working from home. I'm not sure if it's because of COVID or it was already the case to start with because they are an international team and they all come from different locations all around the world. Okay, when you work with so many awesome people, it's hard to answer this question. I'll start by saying for AQverse, Mehmet was my mentor when I first started writing for AE, so I will always enjoy working with her. For DF, while the whole team is amazing to work with, I really enjoy working with Valerius and Dove. As you can tell with the book 3 writing, Valerius is super disciplined in the quality of what gets put into DF. I fully agree, and I think book 3 story flows very nicely. You know, it has cliffhangers and all in all, the only complaint I have about book 3 is that it is a little bit dark. Apart from that, I think the writing is absolutely fantastic. No one in AE has helped me grow and improve in my writing more than Valerius. He has challenged me to write outside of my comfort zone and to write in ways I would have never tried. And he has made me improve as writer and has made all the difference. I will also be grateful to him for all that he has taught me and continues to teach me. Dove/Tomix, on the other hand, has always inspired me. Back when the Soul Weaver saga was just starting, I was immediately drawn to its story. It was the Soul Saga that made me realize I wanted to be a writer. Since then, I've always been inspired by Dove's work. The fact that I get to work with one of my childhood heroes is a dream come true, and the fact that I can call him a friend is more than I could have ever dreamed. Wow, that is so amazing, and I fully agree with him. The Soul Weaver saga is really, to me personally, it was the only story in the whole game that really touched me, that almost brought me to tears, to be honest. And I think many people can agree that that is probably one of the best sagas that this game really has. You know, the entire flow of the story and how, you know, Tomix eventually... Okay, no spoilers here, but you guys can go ahead and play through it yourself and you'll probably know what I mean. It's a saga that really tugs at your heartstrings, and I think it is super duper well written. Okay, probably one of the best stories I've seen in any of the games I've played so far. Next question. If there's a chance to collaborate with writers/teams from other AE games, which writer/game team would you most like to collaborate with? I would love the chance to work on something for AQ3D. Okay, that's cool. Next question. Do you play DF in your spare time as a player instead of a staff/tester? If yes, how long/often? Unfortunately, I don't get the chance to play as much as I would like. Between working on the games, working a job outside of AE, and other everyday stuff, I don't get the chance to play outside of the initial release testing. Oh, I mean, I guess that kind of sucks. Okay, like, the main reason why they joined the team was because they really love the games, and I think it's a bit of a shame that they don't really get to play the games as much as they used to outside of, you know, their job as a staff/tester. You know, I do hope that they eventually do get more free time so that, you know, they can play the game that they have worked on. Next question, do you play any other AE games? Okay, I have accounts for all of AE games, and I do enjoy hopping on them whenever I can. Whenever I want to feel the nostalgia. Wow, so he plays every single AE game. That's really impressive. I don't really know of anyone who actually plays all of their games. Like, I know most people play at least, like, they either focus on one of their games or they have accounts in like 3 or 4 of their games. But I haven't really seen many people who has played through every single one of their games before. And I think it's really cool that he enjoys playing all of the games in the company that he works in. Okay, next question. Do you play any non-AE games? If yes, can you name your favorite? Some of my favorite non-AE games are the Destiny series, Pokemon, Call of Duty, specifically the zombie storyline, Final Fantasy 15, and the Fire Emblem series, and the Kingdom Hearts series. Okay, next question. One thing you like about DF? I love the art style, the story, and the lore. I guess that's 3 things. Okay, so that's basically everything, I guess. That's good about DF. Okay, one thing he didn't mention was the battle system, but you know, people really know DF for the story. Okay, that's cool. Next question. One thing you don't like about DF? I don't like the limitations of our systems, though that is something Valerius has to deal with more than me. However, nothing is more satisfying than seeing Valerius finding ways to transcend that system to find ways of making things happen. Yeah, and I guess all of the developers I spoke to echo the same opinion regarding the limitations of the game engine. I hope one day they have enough money and time to maybe shift over to a new engine, you know, get rid of all the limitations of the old engine, and then we can really see the staff bringing to life their true potential for what they want for the game. Okay, next question. One thing you want to change about DF? Honestly, nothing. I think what we have is an amazing game that gets more amazing with each release. While I would love to see us be able to do more with the game, I think what we have is pretty dang good. Yeah, and I fully agree. Okay, next question. Your favorite book in the game with regards to its story and why? Okay, so a little tidbit about this question before I go into it. Okay, he actually gave me 2 different answers for it. The first answer for it, which I'll read out to you right now. The Last Stand of Aishin by far. I think the story was just so good in terms of lore. I can't wait for the day where everything revolving around it makes sense to players. Okay, so my intention for the question was actually the 3 main books, like book 1, book 2, book 3, but he interpret it as a storybook inside of the game, and that is this book can actually be found in at the Age of Time, if I'm not wrong. Okay, I think it's a unique way of looking at the question. Again, I wasn't specific in my question, so I don't, you know, blame him for answering it in this way, but I think it's really cool to see a different perspective of the books in DragonFable. So this is what what he interprets as one of the books. Okay, that was his first interpretation of it, and you know, I think that's a really good answer. To be honest, I have not really read much, if not any, of the books in DF. Okay, most of them can be found in the library. Okay, the one whereby you go down one screen from Falcon Reach, you go all the way right. You know, the one that is in front of the orb. The orb whereby you get to fuse your Baletail's Aventail artifact. Yeah, I haven't really paid much attention to the books in DF, but it's quite interesting now that he mentioned it. I'll probably go ahead and look through more of them in more detail in my spare time. Okay, so the second answer that he has for this question is that my favorite book has to be book 3, with book 2 coming in close second. While I like the Italians and the lore behind them in book 2, I think that the writing has just overall improved in book 3. I like the idea that we are fighting an organization and ideology rather than a big bad like 1 and 2. I think it's a refreshing change of pace compared to the typical storyline. Personally, I would prefer book 1 a bit more. Okay, my favorite has to be book 1 out of the 3 books, simply because it's a very clear-cut storyline. You know, you gather all the pieces of the orb, and then, you know, it's a bit cliched, yes, but I do enjoy those storylines more. But, you know, this is a matter of personal opinion, and I think book 3 is very well written. Okay, next question. Let's see here. Your proudest release. My proudest release has to be the Dawn's finale, Unravel. There is an indescribable feeling when you are watching the climax of a saga you have worked so hard on. To finally get to that moment is just amazing. Belle has to be my favorite character I wrote for DF, and I can't wait to do more with her. Oh man, I really like the Dawn's finale saga, the one whereby Dino actually gets completely unraveled. That is just so freaking cool, man. From the animation to the writing, that's a really good quest, and you guys can actually access that quest from Ash, I believe. Ash in book 3, Falcon Reach. Just walk up to him, and then, you know, you can click on the Dawn Saga to go ahead and play that. Okay, next question. One secret the players don't know. So when I was writing the monster and the tower for Heroes Hard Day, my fiance and I were shiny hunting a Zapdos on Pokemon Fire Red. Well, oh man, that is so sweet. So that was where he got his inspiration from. Okay, the monster and the tower for Heroes Hard Day, that was last year's Heroes Hard Day release, and I think it was a very unique and cool story. You know, you had 2 blind monsters finding love. Like, it's just very unique. Not something that you see every day, definitely. Whenever the fight with Zapdos starts up, it lets out its battle cry, and after many resets of starting that battle over and over again, my fiance and I began to jokingly imitate it. So when it came time to write the sound the sea monster made, I had it say "Gyao," just like the dialogue box Zapdos has right before starting that fight, as a Valentine's Day gift to my fiance. Oh, that is so sweet, man. Alright, next question. One tip for new/returning players. My number 1 tip would be become a member of the community, join the forums and the fan Discord channels. Yep, I fully agree, and of course one of the fan Discord channels is already up on the screen right now, the Dragon's Quest Discord. You guys can go ahead and join that, and of course do go ahead and join the AE official Discord as well. Okay, I think our community is one of, if not the best when it comes to the gaming communities. Everyone is just so helpful and fun. It will definitely increase your enjoyment of the game. Right, next question. Where/who do you usually get your inspiration from? My inspiration comes from many places. From the games I play, which I listed previously, the books I read. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Okay, I haven't read through any Stephen King books. I have heard of him. He's a pretty well-known author, but I haven't read through any of his books. To the movies I watch, I'm a sucker for superhero movies and the Monsterverse movies. Okay, so cool. Is he more of a DC fan, or is he more of a Marvel fan? I wonder. I've been watching a lot of anime lately. To the people I work with, all of those things go into what I write. Alright. So next question. Book 3 has been around for quite a while already. Will we see a new book soon? And is there a planned ending for DF's main storyline like with MQ? We have had talks about what's to come in DF's future. I can't say much beyond that, but just know that I'm excited for the future. Alright, nice. Okay, I mean, book 3 has been going on for really very long already. Way longer than book 1 and book 2 combined, I think. I don't know if it's time yet for them to move to book 4. I don't know if DF will get the same time loop treatment like they did with MQ, but you know, hopefully we'll see some sort of conclusion to the entire Rose saga soon. Okay, next question. Your favorite storyline not written by you and why? My favorite storyline has to be the Weaver sagas. Like I said, they are basically what inspired me to be a writer, and I don't think I'll be where I am today working on DF/AQers without them. Next question. How do you come up with your NPC Sirius in-game? Artwork, backstory, role, etc. So Sirius was an interesting step for me. My avatar in Inanitas that I used ever since I started with AE has always had a certain type of story I wanted to tell, but once I have the thought of this story for so many years, it felt like I was just stuck to those ideas. With Sirius, I was able to leave Inanitas behind, able to bring him in the way I've always wanted at some later time if I chose, and start with someone new. His design is based off some of my favorite fictional characters. Ardyn Izunia from Final Fantasy XV and Marluxia from the Kingdom Hearts series. series. Okay, unfortunately, I don't play those games, so I don't really have an idea of the characters that he was referring to. Dove did the artwork for him, and I think he turned out perfect. I can't wait for the Fear Engine saga to continue and for players to get to know him better. Yes, Sirius has not really been a character that has been explored much yet in the entire DragonFable game, but you know, in the future, hopefully we'll see more of it in the Fear Engine saga. I'm really curious to know, is he actually a villain? Is he just working on, you know, his own stuff, like an anti-hero of sorts? Or is he like, you know, a hero in his own right? Okay. Any thoughts on the DF community? Forums, Discord, Reddit, YouTube, etc. When I first started releases for DF, the forums was my place to go to read the feedback on them. I remember refreshing them constantly to see what players thought. With the introduction of Discord, I quickly joined the fan Discords because I love interacting with the community, and it's the perfect way to interact and get feedback. In my opinion, I do check the DragonFable Reddit from time to time, but it isn't very active, and I have just started checking out the YouTube content creators, and I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing. Wow, that is so humbling, you know. Of course, I'm not the only DF content creator out there, but I think it's really good that, you know, he enjoys interacting with this community. I have to agree that the Reddit didn't used to be that active, but I think it is pretty active nowadays. So Sirius, if you're watching this video, maybe you can consider to check it out more often. Of course, it can't be compared to Discord, whereby the messages are instant, you know. Like a forum will obviously not be as fast paced as like a messaging app, but I think the DragonFable Reddit is pretty active nowadays. And of course, the YouTube DragonFable community is growing larger and larger. I'm just really happy to see that, you know, many more people making DF videos and promoting the game. Next question. Where do you see the game in 5 years? Mobile? I leave all the future vision stuff to Valerius and Dove. I don't know where we will be in 5 years, but if I could have anyone leading the way, it would be them. Alright, second last question. Do you think the game is in a good state right now? If yes/no, why? I think that DF has always been in a good state, and it only gets better with each release. There's always something we can improve, and we usually get to it eventually. But let's say DF ended this very moment, I'll be proud to say that I was proud of what we did, and I'm proud to have been a part of it. Alright, last question. Your aspiration for DF? My aspirations would be to keep seeing DF grow. Personally, I have so many more stories I want to tell, from the Fear Engine saga, another saga revolving around Bell, perhaps even an Inanitas saga. Wow, man, he has big plans, and I hope we do see them soon. Okay, these side stories or side quests usually come in on the second or third week of the release, and yeah, I wonder what he has in store for us in 2021. There's so much I think the game is capable of, and I can't wait to see all. Alright, so that basically does it for all of the questions from Sirius. Once again, huge shout out for him to for taking time out of his busy schedule to go ahead and do this for me. He told me that he was doing this on his off day, so no, I'm really appreciative to him for doing that. And of course, you know, once again, thank you for reaching out to me, because otherwise I wouldn't have known who else to approach to do the Q&A videos. If you are another DragonFable staff who actually watches my videos, or if you're an AQ staff who watches my videos and you would like me to do a Q&A video with you, if I have not already reached out to you, then do go ahead, DM me on my Discord. Okay, I will leave the link to my personal Discord down in the description below, you know, and you know, we can get things going. And I think it's really cool that the staff are also watching all of the content that's being put up by us. It's very, very humbling for me, and yeah. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this Q&A session with Inanitas, also known as Sirius. If you have, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more of such Q&A with the developers. Until the next time, I'm your host Korban Gaming. Peace out.